Hi golfers, Nick here from Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on golf tips, we're going to continue to talk about the grid. We're going to talk about how you can still slice the golf ball even though you've built in that draw. And I'm going to cover two things which I see in golfers that slice the golf ball. So if you've not seen last week's video, please check it out. We talked about how important the centre of the golf swing and the relationship between the ball position and the centre of the golf swing affects your swing path. However, you may set up to build in that draw by having the ball behind the centre, having the weight on the left, but you can still slice the golf ball from there. And the first thing we're going to talk about is where the weight is and how important you control the centre of your turn and the position of the left shoulder. So you may set up on this grid with the ball just before the centre of the golf swing, which is represented here. So you may set up building that draw. However, if you swing, move your weight to the right and stay there, so then you're hitting the golf ball after the club's gone past your left shoulder, you're going to swing across the golf ball. So it's so important when you hit the golf ball, your left shoulder, if you're trying to draw the golf ball, which is the standard shot for the stack and tilt golf swing, if you're trying to draw it, you need to hit the golf ball before the club reaches that shoulder, because that shoulder is going to be that tangent point. It's going to be that point where that club will start changing direction. So even though you've built in the draw at setup, this grid will shift to the right if your weight stays on the right as you swing back. If you swing back that way, the whole grid's going to shift this way. So that's one key component. Where is your weight? Where's the position of the left shoulder as you strike the golf ball? When we talk about the weight, we talk about the lower body weight. If you watch any of the world's best golfers, as they hit, you'll see how their lower body weight is on the left, so they've got more weight on this side at impact as they strike the golf ball. And the golfers that draw the golf ball, you'll see how the left shoulder will be in front of the golf ball. That's not the only thing that controls the ball flight or the path of the golf swing. That's one component. The other one is, where is the path of the club head? So even though you build in the draw, you've got the ball behind the shoulder, you can still slice the golf ball depending on where the path of the club head is. So we talked about how important it is for that club head to trace this arc as it goes back and into the downswing. So one checkpoint you can look for, because you may have your weight forward, you may have the left shoulder in position. As you come down, one of the key checkpoints is, where is the club head in relationship to your hands at this point? So you'll see my left arm is pretty much vertical at that point, and you'll see the club head is in line with my hands. That's in a good position. If I'm there at this point of the golf swing in the downswing, club head in line with the hands, position 6B6, I have a good chance of sticking to this geometry on the ground here of the grid. If I was to come down, and this time my club head is inside my hands, this is quite a long way inside, you do get golfers at this point, this whole grid will shift out to the right, so I'm going to be swinging more to the right. Okay, so that's going to create pushes and hooks. The opposite can happen. If I was to swing, and at that point I may have my left shoulder in the right position, but if my club head is outside my hands this time, the club head, these lines are going to be more across or in a straight line into the golf ball. So again, you're going to create a swing path which goes from out to in. So it's really important when you come down into this point, check where the club head is in relationship to your hands. Check, make sure the lower body weight's on the left. Make sure impact, your left shoulder is pretty much where it started at setup, so, or just in front. You certainly don't want it further behind where it started. That's going to help you hit across the golf ball. So one of the biggest faults I see that golfers that slice the golf ball is where the weight is. So that's the first thing to check. Then you want to check sort of the path of the club head as you come into the golf ball. So I'm going to hit a couple of shots here. So if you can, I've built in this draw at setup. I've got the ball behind the left shoulder, it's behind the centre of the swing. I need my club face slightly open to start the ball right, and I've got my lower body weight slightly on the left here. So that was a good example of a push draw. Same ball position, but this time I'm going to have my weight more on the back as I hit. So, and also you'll see the club head will be more outside the hands. So I'm going to swing back, move my weight this way. Okay, so even though I set up the same, ball flight completely different. First one, the ball drew because my weight was on the left, and also my left shoulder's in front of the golf ball. And then the last one, weight was on the back foot and the club head outside my hands, making the geometry of the swing go out this way. So there's a couple of key components there. You can build the draw into the setup using the grid, but you need to make sure your weight's on the left shoulder's in front of the golf ball. Also check the position of the club head in relationship to your hands on the downswing. If they're in the right position, you've got a good chance of drawing the golf ball. So golfers, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, it really helps me. If you've got any comments, post them in the box below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And you can also catch them on other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Hopefully see it draw back.